Can you hear me now?
Now I can.
Boom. It happens.
It happens. All right. Welcome back to the grid. It's July 18th, 2025. Chas Smith, how you doing?
Fresh on the heels of, well, I just observed the ballet class. Get a very few ballet class observations here at the School of American Ballet. So it's a real pleasure going in, but was racing back to make it to the pod.
What's the occasion? They just let you take basically check in once every periodically.
Oh, yeah. They let the parents sit in every once in a while to observe a class. So you sit there. I got to watch the 2 hour technique class today.
Wow. Good parent.
Yeah, but oh man, I'd love every second of it.
Really?
Oh my goodness, yeah. It
Not
is
scrolling your phone during.
absolutely not. No, I think if you took out your phone as a parent, I think you would get drilled right out of the room just as quick as you were allowed in.
Mm, good. Still enjoying that fatty middle life in New York City?
Sure am.
Good.
Not bettering myself in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, good. Well, I am because I'm drinking the berry flavor AG1.
Have you tried? I'm worried about the lemon lime flavor. As a rule, I'm not a fan of lemon lime when it comes to Starbursts, when it comes to Lifesavers, when it comes to my sodas.
This is interesting. I never thought about this, but those are always my l- last flavors to pick as well.
I mean, do you drink 7 Up or Sprite?
I haven't, but I mean, I grew up liking it.
Did
You're
you?
right. Now I haven't picked one of those in 20 years.
Uh, the daughter gets migraines with caffeine, and so she has been relegated. I thought root beer was caffeine free. Uh, then I realized no, most root beers do in fact have caffeine in them. So her go-to is Coke. That's her favorite. And then I was like, yeah, I can't drink Coke. It's got the caffeines. We gotta go root beer. And then I realized, oh man, root beer's got caffeine. Sorry, kid. You've got to go Sprite 7 Up. And so now, by sheer force, she has developed a taste for the Sprite.
Interestingly, they're fine beverages. It's just if you have a choice for a Coke or a Dr. Pepper or a root beer or anything else, those are all picked first,
I mean, Dr. Pepper
second and
is
third.
by far and away her favorite. But now, since she's had to only exclusively drink Sprite, uh, she doesn't seem mad about it. So I wonder if we should all if that's the problem. But yeah, I don't. Do you know anyone who naturally goes for a Sprite or 7 Up as that's what I want to drink? I'm looking for a Sprite right now.
You're right. And also, when you open up the bag of Skittles, anybody that grabs the yellow or the green first.
I've never once seen anyone do that. And if I dump a handful into my hand and it is exclusively green yellow, I'm like, well, what a ripoff.
Totally. That is so funny. I never thought about that because key lime pie, I love. There's
Yeah, it's great.
other applications of lemon and lime that I absolutely love, but when it comes to candy, soda, definitely not.
No, it's
Hmm.
kind of weirdly gross. Just do it. Just get up there. Man, why do I have to snap at you? Oh, stinking dog. She will literally sit and tiptoe around the couch, like doing false starts to jump up, and will not be able to do it until I tell her, just go. You have the leg strength. I've seen you do it a million times. And she'll up and she'll pop right up.
Some people like being belittled into
I guess,
things,
I
like
mean,
getting
it's a
shamed.
chihuahua. It's a chihuahua who likes to get shamed.
Um, Last year or last week, our surfing's core score jumped from 47 at the start of the show to 54 by the end of the show. So
I mean, I feel a massive jump, to be quite frank,
surfing's been great lately.
except for dun dun dun. Enter the new, what is it? Oh, in Arizona. Pecan Lake.
Tell me more. Was this your story on Beach Grit?
This is a story on Beach
Yeah,
Grit
yeah.
and Pecan Lake in Arizona. Uh, Brought a surfing experience online. So it's a like family amusement park kind of thing, right? It doesn't seem like it's a water park per se. They might have water slides. It was hard to see. They definitely have mini golf arcades and whatnot, and they were bringing the surfing experience in. But do you know what the surfing experience entered with?
I'm dying to know.
Laser tag and gel blasters. So we're really happy. And so I just thought, which maybe makes us more core. I feel laser tag. Do you remember laser tag in the 80s when it first came on and the advertisements and the like how badly did you want a laser tag set up or to go play laser tag?
Laser tag was the coolest thing of my youth. And I did
Yeah.
get the setup. So I don't know if this was like the actual, brand laser tag, but it had a little vest and the guns.
Yeah.
And so we would play that around the house, but it just wasn't perfectly engineered. Like
But the
you can
but
kind of,
like
you could,
that was the dream, right? Because you see it in the ads and they were in like a
yeah.
dark maze. And then so then I think they built those dark mazes, which is what Pecan Lake did also. And it just looked like my if you could do that, you would be the so maybe this is core score up for surfing, that it's on the par of laser tag now.
What are gel blasters?
I have no idea what gel blasters are. I'm assuming they shoot slime or something
No.
like a softer version of paintball is what I'm assuming.
So then that paintball was an extension of laser tag, basically, but a much more real world experience. Have you ever done it?
I did once. I feel, or maybe it's just like I've seen it so many times that I think I've done it before, but yeah, so I really don't know. It's either I have or have a vague memory, but that vague memory may be born from watching so much paintball happen.
I always wanted to do it and I never did. And the main reason why was I knew there would be like paintball enthusiasts there that just took it way too seriously. Like, I guess
Would
if
you
you and I got a group of guys together who all were the same level of not caring, just wanting to have fun and not take it too seriously, I'd be down to go. I just don't want to go get a pickup game of paintball where you have some guys who like have,
or
you know,
snipers?
yeah, and own a bunch of different types of artillery and all this kind of stuff. And then you're just going to go lose first round.
What would your I feel that my natural instinct perpetually is not to hide around corners. It's just to run into same with dodgeball, same with any of these games. It's I maybe I just don't have the patience to wait where I just run right into the middle and start blasting and then perpetually get blasted right away.
Okay. Well, you and I will not be on the same team when we do this. Um, Surf news. We coming off within, I think, 2 hours ago, the event just ended, the J Bay event. I woke up this morning, was able to watch most of finals day. Congratulations, Gabriella Bryan and Connor O'Leary on winning in stellar conditions at J Bay.
But guess who also watched at least the finals day? Me or finals themselves. But
Mate.
I think the first bit of news here is Molly Picklum. So the women's final was Molly Picklum versus Gabriella Bryan. Uh, a perfect wave. I don't know if it was perfect, but a wave came through at the end. Molly Picklum needed a fairly pedestrian score and just did not paddle. From the booth, they were blaming maybe she didn't look at her Apple Watch, maybe she didn't know what she needed. That seemed like a real the first full on shocker I've seen in a minute of somebody getting a wave and just not paddling.
So Molly Picklum's been in 3 consecutive finals. And so she's consistent, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was she thought another wave was behind it that was better or something like that. I don't know. I wasn't watching that closely. But the other big question for me here or storyline is Gabriella Bryan, third win of the season. She's still ranked number two, but win of the season is huge. She was on tour last year. I don't know if you remember. And I can't remember a wave that she surfed last year. And she has come on with a level of consistency and dominance that I can't remember anybody, you know, doing that quick of a turnaround with.
Except she must not be consistent at all if she's still number two and has 3 event wins of the year.
Well,
Like that
three
means
of
she
them.
must have got equal lasts on every other event of the year.
It's not equal last. I'll look it up real quick. Um,
I mean, you win 3 events in a year. You would think you would have a dominant lead going into if you
well,
placed anywhere above last in any other event.
so like I said, Molly Picklum made 3 finals in a row. She won the last event, so that's a big score. And then those other 2 scores. So Picklum's just had a slightly better year than Gabriella. You're right. Gabriella got, well, no, a ninth place finish once and a couple of fifth place finishes, 2 ninths, 2 fifths. 2/5. So
and then
that's
three
holding her back a
wins.
little bit, but 3 wins. Yeah.
Yeah, but congrats to Gabrielle O'Brien though. Like, well done.
So again, coming off of last year, where I don't even remember her being a factor last year. Let's see, last year she was seventh in the world. But I really don't remember a wave of her surfed. And then this year, I feel like every event, certainly the last few events, she is the woman to beat. It's like a crazy amount of dominance out of obscurity.
How much do you credit Richard Dog Marsh?
Hard to not give him credit. He obviously coaches Connor O'Leary as well, so he had the two winners of this event. Um, I was a little bit suspect, not suspect, but just like skeptical about coaches in general 5 years ago. But the proof seems to be in the pudding. There are some who absolutely know how to whip a athlete into winning condition.
I mean, the dog pound, or what do they keep referring to it out of the booth? The
That's
dog
the dog pound.
squad,
Yeah,
the
the dog
dog
pound.
pound. So you got Connor O'Leary in the dog pound. You got Tyler Wright in the dog pound. You got Gabrielle Bryan. You have who else is in the dog pound? There's a couple other winners in there.
I want to say Ethan, but I could be wrong. Ryan Callanan has been in it in the past.
Yeah. Well, Richard Dog Marsh for the win.
Major. The other note here, Connor O'Leary, second ever Japanese winner of a CT event. Kanoe Igarashi was the first. He's been on tour 7 years. This is his first event win. Obviously, he got a 10-point ride in the semifinals to get there, and arguably the hardest draw of of the event for sure. But Felipe Toledo, who's a multi-time winner here, he had Ethan Ewing, and then he beat Yago Dora in the final, who's sitting in first position. So
Uh, quick question, not to throw cold water on all of this great feel good time, but I feel this is the grit. It's what we're supposed to do. Uh, I hate watching backside surfing.
couldn't disagree with you more.
I hate it.
Why? Do you
It's
go left?
I go left sometimes when I have to, but the knowing what's coming. Like I feel when surfers on their front foot, I don't really know what's coming. I feel that there's multiple turns they can throw. Uh there's multiple things they can do. On the backhand, I feel I know exactly what's coming. They're going 12 o'clock when they can and bashing the lip, and they'll do that as many times they can, and then mix in a couple wrapping other bashes. And then Yago, of course, threw a ridiculous air. Was that in his semi?
I don't remember when it was.
Yeah, but that can happen. But two goofies, and I hear the booth, chirping about, oh, if Mark Occhilupo's cheering from his grave, and
His
uh
grave.
just like everybody, and I'm like, this is boring. This is straight up boring.
Wow. Couldn't disagree with you more, man. I find it totally equally as exciting as frontside surfing. There's just as much variety, I think, of maneuvers.
It's weird.
And
It's squatty,
I would argue I like
squatty, and it's
going
boring.
left more than I like going backside more than I like going frontside.
I mean, I feel maybe that's why I hate watching it so bad, because I feel like I can actually do a turn backside. Like I can go, and it's just easier, right? You like can lean in on your bottom and kind of go up and then throw your momentum forward, and your board follows. I find that easier to do. So maybe that's why I dislike it, because I'm like, this is you guys are easy surfing here. It's easy surfing that doesn't look good but feels good.
Crazy. You're crazy.
Nope, I think I'm right. I think the listener is going to agree with me here. We should do a poll.
Definitely do a poll on Instagram, see what
Yeah.
happens.
Okay.
Um, I did have the thought though, watching Aki footage that inevitably somebody posts during any J Bay or Bell's event, just to compare what's going on now versus then. Aki's footage from 20 years ago holds like he could have gone toe to toe with Connor in the final.
That's my point precisely. There's been zero progression in backside surfing over the last 20 years. Nothing. Nothing's new. It's the same exact squatted on down. Just pretend you're taking a little dump and then go up and boom. And then kind of the bigger you are or squatty you are, the better, which Connor O'Leary is the perfect combination for this because he is both huge and squatty. So he can go down and do a big old squatty turn.
Aki is huger and squattier, by the way, so Aki would win.
But Aki's tiny. Aki's like 5'4". I think Connor Leary is O'Leary. Sorry, Connor. Connor O'Leary, I think, is a good 6'1", but his proportions are the same as Aki.
Aki's girthier.
I think Aki and Connor O'Leary are probably the same exact ratio of height to width.
I think they're the same exact weight, and Connor's 5 inches taller, and Aki's just girthier.
But like, so Yago, I will give you Yago as a smooth looking backside surfer. Uh, but it still doesn't look nearly as smooth as going frontside.
Totally disagree, dude. I can't wait for you to get roasted. So the other thing here is you started with your premise of Chad Smith hates surfing.
Yeah.
That still stands, but now you're isolating down specific parts that you're just amputating and getting rid of entirely. So now we're down to no going backside. You
Did you
hate it so
see
bad it's not a part of surfing anymore. Now you only hate this little portion over here.
did you see Connor O'Leary take off on his victory lap and go frontside?
No.
He took off on like after the bell rung, the horn sounded, and took off switch, right? So went, wrote it in frontside, and I was like, man, even though you're looking awkward, as all switch surfers do. How has nobody ever perfected switch surfing, by the way, to make it look even remotely natural? Skateboarders do it all day, every day. Snowboarders do it all day, every day. Stinking, we have switch hitters in baseball. We have all kinds of surfers always look clumsy and it's very funky right away. You know, oh, something's wrong here.
Have you ever tried to go switch?
It's hard, but like
But
I
have you
would,
tried?
nope.
I've tried when I was like 20 years old or something, just goofing around with friends. My brain could not process it.
I understand that, but how do skateboarders do it all the time? Skateboarders are always going in switch, and you
Yeah.
honestly, unless the announcer says he's going in switch or said he hit that switch, you would have zero idea. Skateboarding is way more technical. Like they're doing flippy tricks, blah blah blah, going in switch that looks completely natural. How can a surfer not take off on a wave and look where you think, oh, is he a regular foot? Or like you have no question. When a goofy takes off regular, you're like, uh-oh, awkward time.
Interestingly, Italo is the guy who can do it most seamlessly. And I think it's because his style when he's
Is Skaty.
no, his style's ugly. So
Squatty.
like
Yeah.
his style when he's normal, his regular goofy stance is his, normal stance. It already looks goofy. So when he goes regular or natural stance, it looks the same.
The how is not though in this day and age of coachy parents and a smaller and smaller keyhole to get through to make a career, how is not, I mean, I've heard for decades now, uh left-handing pitching in baseball is, especially for, yeah, left-handed pitching in general, is more valuable than right-handed pitching, right? And so natural right-handed pitcher, like parents who have kids coming up, it's like tie the right arm behind the back and force them to pitch left, and then the kids can become left-handed pitchers. How is no parent thinking, okay, I see you natural foot, or I see you goofy foot, I'm gonna make you go on your other foot?
I have no idea.
Or like
Parents out there take that lane.
imagine if you had the power as a surfer to go equally well, both front hand or backhand, what that would unlock for you.
I think it'd be a waste of energy.
Because you like backhand surfing.
There you go.
Backhand surfing.
Backhand is equally as valuable.
It's a nasty thing.
When Joe Turpel does an award ceremony and he says, "You guys are some of the coolest surf fans on the planet," to the local crowd, every single stop on tour, do you think the fans feel like he's being disingenuous?
Yeah, I'm no, I think Joe Turpel has a level of disingenuity so baked in that everything he says already sounds false. So they just think, oh, that's Joe Turpel saying words are coming out of Joe Turpel's mouth.
I'm going to take the opposite stance. I think he is being entirely sincere every stop on the planet. Every stop he does look and go, I'm so thrilled. These people are so psyched. These are the best surf fans on the planet. So he says it again.
A shocker to me was A, how packed the beach was. I felt like the beach was more packed in J-Bay, South Africa than it was in Saquarema, Brazil. Uh, like that beach was honest to goodness packed, right?
I wasn't watching that closely.
I mean,
I
it
heard
seemed
Joe
like a lot
Turpel
of
say that and I was looking, I was kind of half watching.
it seemed like a lot of people on the beach.
Gotcha.
But other than that, what was I going to say? Oh, the shocker to me was how many times do you think Kaipo Guerrero has been to J-Bay? He's been traveling the tour for
20.
years as a professional surfer. Yeah, 20 times.
Sure.
That was Kaipo's first time ever to Jeffreys Bay, South Africa.
I had no clue.
Yep, they said it. They said it from the booth. They said Kaipo sure is loving it here on his maiden voyage.
Man, you should watch these events more often. You're full of factoids
I
that you
mean,
normally
yeah,
aren't.
full of factoids.
The other big news coming out of the WSL in the last day is that they announced changes to the finals day format. Finals day format, which will be taking place for the last time at Cloudbreak this season. There's two main adjustments. Number one is if the number one seed wins their first heat of normally it's the best of three in that final matchup between number one and whoever makes their way up to number one. So if the number one seed wins their first heat, they'll clinch the world title without having to surf the subsequent two heats. So
Yep.
that's news. And then the other bullet point is that the top seeded surfer in all matches will start with priority rather than having to battle it out.
Do you care?
Well, I think it's a good choice. These are, good rules to be implemented that ensure that whoever earned their way into their ranking position maintains a certain priority, quote unquote, throughout the day.
Okay, I like it. I liked that also the World Surf League is weighing their Final Five format. Obviously, moving it to Fiji was instead of lower trestles was a big, like, positive step. But then also, if you're going to have this format, to continue to toy with it to get
Yeah.
the balance right in terms of, okay, well, if you're coming in to the Final Five with I mean, let's just be quite frank. Yeah, this came from the mind of Eric Logan to try to falsely manufacture excitement at the end of the season. But with all sports, right? I feel that baseball, they bring in the pitch clock, right? They're like, I think all major league sports are perpetually, football changed the kickoff a couple years back. They're always monkeying with it. Okay, how can we make this game better? So good on the World Surf League for continuing to make it better. And I think the old, maybe, classicist would say, no, we like it. The tour makes the title and we like it this way. But the Final Five does make the last stop. It gives you an extra stop to make it interesting. And they
I
totally
think,
blew it. I mean, I feel they fully blew it. Uh, Carissa Moore is the big victim of them figuring this out in real time. Because
yeah,
these changes, Carissa Moore would have won another title.
she wouldn't have Stat Magazine in their write-up. They actually ran through the stats and they were like, what would have changed if this was implemented back then? And everything would remain the same. But, maybe her mental state would be
Yeah, how do
different.
you know?
Yeah,
How do
you
you
don't know.
know?
But I do agree with you. I like the fact that they're changing it, even though it's late in the season or right before the event or whatever. It's still, we point out lots of times you don't realize things that you should have implemented until you have the benefit of hindsight. And so we're learning as we go from event to event how to fine tune and tweak. And the season is too long to like think, okay, let's just wait until next season to apply these changes. I think you should, with the new data, new information, make those changes in real time.
And I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's not like God himself came to Mount Sinai and hammered the rules of professional surfing into the tablets.
Right.
Like all of this is artificial anyway. And so might as well make it any, even mix it up mid-event, or I guess not mid-event, but pre-event, as long as everybody has the same information to work with, then why not change it on the fly to make it better? If you know something, hey, this is not working, we've seen this not work, or this is like decidedly not fair, let's change it right now.
And
So
this
good on them.
does. And the kind of core conceit with this is that it is more fair.
Yeah. Well, good
If,
job surfing. Good job World Surf League. Way
of
to
course,
score up. Way to World Surf League has figured it out. In the wake, Eric Logan was peak low, obviously, and it could have gone down or somewhere from there. But the fact that it feels like they really are attempting to figure out the best way to showcase professional surfing.
Elo is peak low and could have done enough damage to make it irreparable. But glad to say things are, you know, working out for the best. His poo
Do you
poo
think
touch has been sanitized.
dissipated? Do you feel that Elo's rap name could be Peaklow?
It really could be. Yeah. Um, in other surf news, Zach Weisberg leaves the Inertia.
Shocking.
I would not have known this information if you did not report on it.
I wouldn't have known it unless wonderful people
Oh,
email me things.
okay, good. Because most things, it's just like in my awareness, and through osmosis gets to me. And that's one story where I was going down Beach Grit and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
How did
so
this escape me?
I thought that too. And the wonderful person who sent it over, I was like, well, what's he doing next? And person was, I don't know. And I'm thinking, wait a second. Zach Weisberg, this is Epstein file level uh of what's going on here. So did he get a buyout? Were they like, Zach Weisberg, you started this thing, you're out? Because Inertia sold to whoever, I can't remember who it sold to a while ago. So they're like, we can't afford your salary anymore. You're gone. Did Zach Weisberg thinks, did he get hired somewhere? Or did somebody say, Zach Weisberg, you started this Inertia that is so successful that we want you to come CEO up our, astronomer. We
So
want,
wait, astronomer needs a new CEO, and they
yeah.
they pinpointed Zach Weisberg. No, I think it's embedded in the exact thought that I had when I saw your news story, which is I was unaware that Zach was even still there. Like at Beach Grit, it still totally has the tone of Chaz and Derek. Any of my work clearly has my voice in it. So remove me and it's all different. The Inertia, remove Zach and it's all the same, basically.
Oh,
And so I think that Zach got the buyout however many years ago. Maybe he actually signed the opposite thing that you're saying, which is you have to stay on for 3 years. And that time has come up and it's kind of like, well, if I leave, nobody's gonna care anyways. I got the money. What am I still doing here?
okay, but it's not like Zach Weisberg made retire forever money off of the Inertia. So Zach Weisberg is re-entering the job market circa 2025, which, let's be frank, in media, it's not like a bull market. Uh,
I don't I don't know. How do you know what type of money or how much money he earned in the buyout?
because I absolutely the Inertia is not worth that much, and so there's no way Zach Weisberg got retire forever money.
Well, I'm
I
not
think
saying he's buying a yacht and living in San Tropez. I'm saying he doesn't have to go out and scrounge for a job, but he probably has other ideas for other things. I mean, the guy's an entrepreneur. He probably has other ideas for other things he wants to do, and now he can go do that. And he doesn't have to use his own money, but he also doesn't have to
oh,
get a
that's what
job
he's going
next
to do.
week.
Well, he is going to astronomer. It's going to be that kind of move. He's going to like kind of head up or lead other vaguely crappy businesses.
Elo style.
Yeah.
He's going
I
to
mean,
follow in the
maybe
path of Elo.
I guess so. I guess he's starting a Substack and then going to motivational speak.
That's, by the way, isn't that what the Inertia already was?
Yeah.
Substack.
Yeah. So the go Zach Weisberg go. But
I'm,
I'll be reporting on this. I'm going to keep my
yeah,
finger on the pulse here of what Zach Weisberg's lateral move is here.
you might have to get a LinkedIn account and follow him there.
Man. Yeah. Well, shoot. Yeah, I'm too busy following the astronomer story. That thing is the funniest thing that happened this week out of nowhere.
Save it for Barrel or Not.
Okay.
That'll be our tease for listeners. Stick around. Um, by the way, good for Zach. When I read this, I was like, the inertia, I don't go to it anymore,
It sucks.
but it
It's horrible.
it's just the same perpetual motion over and over from week to week to week to week, right?
Yeah, it's like the five best camping bags and
Yeah.
then a little bit of current news. Yeah, I
But
guess
from his standpoint, I would be bored out of my mind.
yes, but what else are you gonna do?
Anything.
Like,
I
okay,
From my perspective, it's like, dude, you've been there for 15 years, you built something substantial, you got the payout already. Sweet. Next chapter. Move on. Good for you.
okay, what if you could or had so again, good on Zach Weisberg, I suppose, as a businessman for not having the inertia be Zach Weisberg's voice. Beach Grit is screwed. You are screwed. We are going to be working in these salt mines forever because, I mean, I guess you could possibly bring on enough other voices where the network builds big enough where your particular shows aren't the driver. And then you could, but okay, so what do you do? What do you do, David Lee
Me.
Scales? Let's pretend you are
So
Zach Weisberg. Let's pretend you built Surf Splendor, where there was like 7 or 8 really high functioning podcasts on the platform that weren't your voice.
my move, that's not even the move. The move would be uh somebody like, the money that went into Surfline. Somebody like that takes over or buys in, or Surfline themselves wants a podcast network, so they buy Surf Splendor and then hire me to stay on just to host shows. So they run all the back end production, all of the administrative, and all of the marketing and creating content that goes out on socials to promote the shows. And then I just show up and I interview people and host shows. That's it.
Okay, real cool. But then, so they, after 3 years, they say, okay, David Lee Scales, this thing is, we can get a David Lee Scales for a third of the price. We got this kid coming up who can sort of competently interview people. We're giving you your buyout. You get your $200,000. So long. So now you got $200,000. It's pretty sweet. What do you start next? You got to do something.
Food and wine content creation of food and wine.
Oh, we should.
Something
We
similar, but different subject matter.
why aren't we starting that already?
Well, let's do it. I'm spread thin on time, but that's where my other passion is, and I already know how to create the content, so that would be a logical move.
Who would you interview? Keith McNally first.
I don't know who that is.
What? I do not know Keith McNally. Is that even
I
his
don't know.
name? Keith McNulty? Keith the dude, how do you he's like the number one restaurateur or the most interesting.
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna Google it.
I don't really follow like
He,
restaurants and what's hip or what's going on in the space. I just like eating and
yeah.
drinking.
No, he made Balthazar.
Oh,
And
really? Okay, cool. I've
yeah,
heard of that.
yeah. He's a good personality because he fully roasts the clients who come in. Like if celebrity clients behave badly, he puts them on absolute blast right away.
Good. I like it.
Good content. Yeah.
Well, I guess moving on, not that I mean I'm sure we could do an hour on that topic, but I've got something else that I wanted to play for you. Let me see if I can find the video. Let me see if I can share the sound. This has major implications for our core score. So let's play it here.
A sight for any surfer to behold. Board riders making the most of dreamy conditions at Albany's Middleton Beach. But it wasn't always this way. Lifelong surfer Peter Bolt grew up in Albany and has walked this path to check the surf more than most, observing little but unsurfable closeouts at Middleton Beach for much of that time. So for the past 30 years, he helped spearhead efforts to do something about it.
I think I came back to Albany in 1990. We just felt that's where we needed the juniors to have something decent to surf at, in town where they can get access to.
Thanks to funding from the City of Albany, as well as the state and federal governments, specialist marine engineers have created a perfect wave. The $13 million project involved the placement of 70,000 tonnes of rock on the seabed. There were times, however, when Peter Bolt thought he'd never see it happen.
Peaks and troughs, and, you know, and roadblocks and mountains you can't climb, and it's just all too hard.
The Albany Surf Reef isn't without its detractors, who fear it'll affect the beach in unwelcome ways and was a waste of money. But surfers are unperturbed, saying the beach is holding up just fine and it was worth every cent.
Well, I'm a surfer, I like a good wave. Don't really care how much money was spent.
We don't have many waves around here that you've got like a really punchy top to bottom takeoff wave, and this wave is that. It's a really high performance wave.
Peter Bolt is similarly upbeat.
When I see the kids come down here before school in the dark to get a wave before they go to school, and then they zip down here again after school again, yeah, that's it. That's what this was all about.
Making waves as a new generation hits the water. Daniel Mercer, ABC News.
So forget about wave pools. Artificial reefs in the ocean are now a reality.
Core score absolutely up. I've been waiting for this I think they've been trying this for as long as I can remember, of trying to dump rocks or sink boats or do whatnot to make a wave. So Peter Bolt, good on you for actually figuring it out. And this is a core score up, because imagine if they could do this in Manhattan Beach, for example, which is just a straight walled crap closeout, right? But it gets swell. It's just a wall. Yeah, why not?
Well, it would disperse crowds. Obviously, if there's more good quality surf spots, then that means there's fewer surfers on each of them. Or maybe it would attract more surfers people to become surfers. So I guess that's remains to be seen. But I absolutely don't see the downside. If it's environmentally sound, all that kind of stuff, like, seems great.
From everything I'm no marine biologist, but I think those artificial reefs also make all kinds of marine habitat and whatnot, right? Like, you put those there, and then, like, I feel that's a absolute win-win when you have the ocean already making swell that's just not working because there's just no sandbars or no reef, or it's Manhattan Beach. Why not dump stuff out there and figure it out? But I've never seen it work. I've always seen the projects that just flat out don't work.
It's a feel-good story.
But I'm going up two on the core score here.
Hang on to your, I'm going to do all the math at the end because I can't keep track of it as we talk. But yeah, I think this is something that I dreamed about as a child too. And this is answering your question of what would you do if you got the big payout?
Artificial reefs.
I'm going to buy beach property that is somewhere that, doesn't have waves, or like it gets swell. Somewhere in Central California, it gets swell, but it's a crappy beach that no surfer would ever buy a house at, and then build the artificial reef right in my backyard where nobody knows it exists.
How much science goes into, like, do the bricks or blocks or rocks or whatever they dump in there have to be placed? How much, like, crafting is it to make the thing work versus if you just throw crap out there, will it make a wave?
No, you have to design it in a certain shape and, height and depth or whatever, adjusting so that it peaks in one spot and breaks down the line the way that you want it to. But bathymetry is all known science at this point. Like, it's not like they're throwing it out there and then guessing and adjusting. I think they can run models and tests before they ever put the rocks down.
Well, love it. That is a surf feel-good story for true.
You want another surf feel-good story?
Man, this episode, who would have seen this coming?
You really tried to sink it at the beginning.
Besides hating backside surfing, so far so good.
All right, we're going to win you back, whether you like it or not. I got an email, I think yesterday, maybe the day before, from a name that I recognized because I've shipped him merch before. He's bought a couple of Surfing World magazine copies before.
Oh, that's a great cover.
Yeah, that's from Cyclone Alfred in
Is that Joel Parkinson?
Kira. No, it's a no-name dude who got the wave of his life. Actually, I shouldn't say no name. He has a O'Neill sticker on his board, but it's not a known surfer.
That's a
See,
great photo.
yeah, it's such a killer cover. It's from that cyclone that was on the Gold Coast.
I'll tell you, I mean, yeah, we've talked about it, and this is old man talk here, but somebody curating what I'm supposed to appreciate makes me, that's why I go to museums and stuff, right? I don't
Yeah,
go to, like, if I went to a museum and there was just Instagram on the wall of what everyone thinks is art, then it's just overload. I want to
yeah.
go because I know this museum has a good curator who's telling me this is what you should be looking at. And now I can take that and say you're right or wrong, but there's like I see that picture automatically and I think that's a phenomenal picture. That is for those who are just listening, not watching, the very few who are left on audio, not YouTube. It is a gaping Cyclone Alfred barrel with just a dude arms spread wide. It's a simple, easy to understand, but a beautiful shot.
Van Whiteman is his name, and the photo was taken by Josh Bystrom. So Van Whiteman, what a glory cover shot you got there.
Yeah.
By the way, if anybody wants Surfing World issue number 425, go to surfsplendorpodcast.com. We've got them for $20 in the US. If you're anywhere outside of the US, just get it through Surfing World themselves. But they ship me a few boxes of this to distribute in the US. So if you want one, surfsplendorpodcast.com. Um, anyways, I've shipped a couple of issues of Surfing World to this guy. So I recognized his name on the email when it came through, but I was shocked to read his email. He said, DLS, nothing to do with the show, but took my first surf lesson today at age 54 and had my daughter, stepdaughter, and stepson also out. Kyle Busey in Folly Beach, which is right near Charleston or in Charleston, uh, was the instructor, and it was a rough day. He compared it to learning on a double black or on a black diamond trail. I feel like you and everybody at Surf Splendor are family for this Tennessee guy. So even though it's not show related, I just had to share. Thanks for always making surfing in the ocean feel close to home. Keep work, Mike in Knoxville, Tennessee. I was like, wait a second. I emailed him back. I'm like, wait, you're you took a surf lesson, but are you saying this is your first time surfing? First time riding a surfboard? Like, what's going on? And he replied back and said, it's a little strange. I was born and raised in East Tennessee, but always felt a connection to the West Coast. Surf culture, skate culture. Spicoli was my favorite. I wore Quicksilver and Vans when none of my friends even knew what they were. Yes, first lesson and first time on a board. I love the ocean, but usually vacation on the Gulf, so not much wave exposure. I did get up a few times, but only for about 15 seconds or so, realistically, but it felt like more. I'm going to pause right here and say, Mike, there's no chance it was a 15-second ride. It was probably a 3-second ride that felt like 30. And then you factored in, you just met in the middle at 15, but 15-second ride is extraordinarily long. Anyways, he goes on to say, the fight to get past the breakers is the story I'll retell. I was a longtime subscriber to Surfer and Surfing magazines before they stopped production, premium membership subscriber, to the Surfer's Journal and longtime Surf Rider member too. My daughter can pretty much quote Point Break, so I raised her right. I found the show when I started working from home as a result of COVID. I listened to several of you and your team, and just and was immediately it was immediately comfortable to me, and I wanted to know more. You, Chaz, and Scott just feel like lost friends I've known forever. What keeps me coming back? I think it's the sincerity in the shows, the laughter, and the ever-changing topics. Noble Rot has been a great addition. Thanks for the response, Mike.
Mike, thank you for listening. And I felt this like the idea of the non-surfing surf fan, uh, in terms of the World Surf League, I always thought was ludicrous, right? But I've always felt like people come into surf culture. You are attracted to surfing. You're attracted to it's beautiful to look at, right? It's like the clothes and the lifestyle and all that, especially used to be obviously more cool than they maybe are, or maybe it is now. But this idea that it's I've said this again, repeat, said it before, say it again. Surfing is more than just the act of surfing. And so I could fully see how you are a surfer. You identify as a surfer, even without actually really surfing. Like the lifestyle, the ethos, the mindset, the mentality, all of it can resonate without shredding.
Yeah, apparently so.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. It's foreign to me, but it totally makes sense.
Like it's a bigger, like surf culture is bigger than surfing.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can be in surf culture and not necessarily be a surfer.
Yep. Apparently.
Yeah, Mike,
And I would even,
unicorn.
and I mean, following that logic, I've known a lot of surfers who are actually doing the act of surfing who are probably less of a surfer than Mike is.
I mean, there's more of that, I feel. There is
Yeah.
more people who surf and rip who have zero care and nothing obviously against them. Like, again, ripping like is the cancels all evils. But there is more of those who have no care of surf culture, who just like the act of surfing, but know nothing about the history, know
Right.
nothing about the brands, know nothing about any part of it. They just go surf.
Or don't, I would argue even further, like, don't really have a stoke or a aloha spirit or whatever that part is, and they're just out there trying to get their own, and just they have like more of a jock mentality of going out there trying to rip, trying to get their own, and then don't care about anything else that comes with it.
I mean, even more, I think, in this day and age, like on the negative side, the person who picked it up as kind of an exercise or to stay
Yeah.
healthy. And so they absolutely don't, they're not investing. Like the dude who rips, who has been surfing his whole life, but just doesn't have an interest in the culture bit. Great. Like you do you. It's the kind of person who's come online and is doing it as exercise, but then is not, because there is at that point, I think come on, you've got to at least pay a bit attention to the culture. If you're going to do this thing, if I was going to go start, I don't know, playing basketball at the park, and you asked me, who's Michael Jordan? And I was like, I don't know, love shooting buckets, right? That'd be a little weird.
I think there's just so much to love about this culture specifically. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
rich.
it's really rich. There's interesting characters. And so you get sucked in. And certainly the magazines were that for me when I was growing up. I just wanted to know more of who was Archie, or whatever. So,
I
but
mean,
I think there's other things that I could like dip in and out of. If I got in, I have in the past gotten into running. It's like I'm just running for the sake of running. I don't really care about the history of running. I don't want to follow running on the internet. I'm just going to go run.
I hear that, but on the flip side, I feel like I could get super into fly fishing, into how to tie a fly or what fly works, and then watch it on YouTube. These guys fly fishing, right? And da 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 da, without ever fly fishing myself.
Yeah, I mean I've gotten that way into hunting.
Yeah.
I don't hunt, but I loved that show Meat Eater. I follow hunters online. I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah, like okay, what bow are you using?
Yeah,
What, like, you can get really, I think, nerd out on it
true.
without ever having, you don't need to actually go bow hunt yourself.
So there's another subset of surfers. I don't think I've ever shared this thought online, but I've had it for quite a while now. Um,
Is it dangerous?
no, it's not dangerous.
Is it provocative?
It's not provocative, but you
Is
have to
it
be like,
sexual?
no, you just have to be around it for a long time to really understand what I'm talking about. I have friends who are like the best surfer, when we were 20 years old or something like that. The local ripper, let's say. And now we're 45, right? And I'm like, and that person is like solely focused on surfing, and that's all they really care about. And like my life has gone different directions, and I have other interests in life, whatever, and invested in family. And so I spend less time surfing, but I still enjoy it and probably not as good at it as I was at that time. But they've just focused on just surfing all the time. Surfing. That's like their sole focus in life. And I'm looking now, watching footage of them at 45, thinking, you are not 10 times better than when you were 20. You're 8% better, maybe 8% better, maybe 10% better. Is it worth it? Like for that to be your sole focus for all of these decades and you're only 8% better at the thing, and you sacrificed or did not get any of the other life colors and enjoyments. You're still just really trying to be there at Dawn Patrol every day and get set waves. Seems kind of weird to me.
Except for the fact that I know these people too, right? And then also, like you, have judged them as shallow and incomplete. And then I realized, no, this is the entirety of their their cup is full. There's no room in their cup, right? You could introduce, hey man, you should really get into experiencing oysters, or you should figure out how to appreciate fine art or music or anything. They just don't have the capacity for that. This is what they love. This is max peak. That's them. There's no changing. There's no adding.
I I know it sounds judgmental the way that I worded it. I don't mean to be judgmental. I want them to experience more. And I
But
understand what you're saying, but
but
what
maybe they don't have people don't have the capacity sometimes.
I get that. But if the one thing that they're focused on is improving, my observation is that you haven't really executed that either. You're not like John Florence at this point.
Yeah,
You're
but
not even like
maybe
the 13-year-old kid I saw in that Rip Curl video, this week.
but what if they feel that way? What if they have a wave a month, let's say, where they feel like basically John. It's like potato, me and John in that tube right there.
And if you feel that way and your perception is that wildly skewed, good for you. That must feel great.
Yeah.
I'll take that drug. Okay, well, moving on. I got lots of follow up from surf ears last week.
Are people pro surfier?
Yeah, lots of people are like, dude, just get the surf ears, earplugs, whatever. We had obviously a listener call in, and then I talked about having an issue with my left ear where I know it's problematic because I put my earbuds in and the left one, when it pings on, I can barely hear anything, and my right one sounds much louder. Guess what I figured out this past week? After receiving a bunch of advice from a bunch of people what I could do for my ears, guess what I figured out?
You need cochlear implants.
My left earbud is broken.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, how good is it to use this program here as doctor? I mean, I feel I could almost say anything that's ailing me online right here, and I
It's
get the
true.
right answer. Next episode.
It's totally true. So great advice that I got before realizing that my left earbud is just broken and that my ear isn't actually plugged. Um, Guy who went to El Salvador with us this past year, and somebody that I maintained contact with is like, dude, 10 years ago, a doctor told me, because he was gonna get the ears drilled too. And the doctor goes, just as a last thing to try before we do that, do a mixture of 50% rubbing alcohol and 50% white vinegar and pour that into your ear. And the rubbing alcohol um, softens the
Evaporates.
earwax. Yeah, it's soft. Well, it does evaporate the water as well, but it softens the earwax. So if you do it over the course of like a week, then you will be able to dislodge the earwax. And then the vinegar itself actually is breaks down calcium. So the calcium buildup in your ear will get eroded with the vinegar, and then the other thing does the earwax job. And so if you use it over a long enough period of time, it'll actually do both things well. So he said he's been using it for 10 years. It was like daily for a period of time, and now it isn't. But his ear actually, the opening in his ear actually got wider and not narrower over time, and he never had to get drilled.
Medical miracle.
Medical miracle. So I've been on it, and then realized I used a different set of earbuds one day, and I was like, wait a second. I guess the ear trick is working that he taught me. And then I did further observations and studies and realized, no, the original earbuds, just the
We're
left
broken.
one is broken. And it gave me a complex.
That's amazing.
How funny is that?
It's really good though, because imagine you got cured without ever having to do anything.
I know.
Yeah.
And I was spending so much time like trying to fix the plug in my ear that my ear started being irritated. And that only validated my false presumption that I had an ear issue.
Phenomenal. Well, thank you, dear listeners, for at least pointing the way to those who actually do have real ear issues. And or to the rest of you, go make sure your earbuds are in working order.
And also, I do have one important PSA that I will read from Mr. Hand. He said, Chaz and DLS, this is a PSA in response to the recent earplug and surfer's ear surgery discussion. I had both ears drilled out, and yeah, recovery is rough. but it's worth it to avoid the prolonged ear infections and temporary hearing loss that comes with it. That said, the first time I had the surgery, I went through one of the most painful and helpless moments of my adult life. Like many surgeries, I was prescribed opioids to manage the pain. As you probably know, opioids slow down your digestive system, and mine came to a grinding halt. 3 days post surgery, I felt an intense mounting pressure, the kind where you need to go, but you physically can't. So there I am, sitting on the toilet, trying desperately to have a bowel movement. And in the process of pushing, I felt an intense stabbing pain in the side of my head, and my freshly drilled ear hemorrhaged due to the strain. So here's my PSA. If you're getting surfer's ear surgery, ask your doctor for a stool softener. When I had my second ear drilled, I remembered that brutal experience, and the stool softener made all the difference. This is now my cause, my rallying cry. Take the stool softener. Keep work, Mr. Hand.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hand. This, all we need is this show. Anyone who listens to this show, listen enough. Any question you ever have will be answered.
Or if it isn't, send it in and we will read it, and then somebody
It
else
will get
answer.
answered. This community knows everything.
Knows no bounds, knows everything.
Yep.
How about that? So good to know.
Amazing. Great to know.
Before we go to commercial break, I've got another surf doppelganger submission.
Who do we got?
Who do we got? An unlikely one coming in.
Connor O'Leary and
Sissy Spacek and Caitlin Simmers.
If Katie Simmers got a nose job, this would be perfection. This
and
is
a chin job and an eye
Oh.
job and a mouth job, I would argue.
Oh,
I'm not going for this.
Really? I mean, it's a good picture.
So their complexion is identical.
Yes, but Caitlin, and don't do it, Caitlin. You're perfect the way you are. But Caitlin would need an eye lift, a nose job, a lip sculpting, and also a chin sculpting.
It's not the same person.
Yeah.
I
Same
mean,
complexion.
I appreciate this anonymous submission, and I see in this photo the similarity, but I know what Sissy Spacek looks like without this photo, just like in general, and they're not. They only have the same complexion. That's it.
Sissy Spacek, by the way, is one of the great Hollywood names.
That's true.
Sissy Spacek. It's like both rolls off the tongue and is instantly iconic just saying it.
You're right. I wonder if Sissy is her real name.
There's no way.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, nice try. Good.
Nice.
It's good. Just similar hair color, same complexion. Otherwise, it's not a doppel.
This falls under a trap, though, that my dad made me very aware of when I was growing up. My dad has red hair. And he said that when he was growing up, people would always like mention some famous person with red hair and be like, hey, you look like so-and-so. Basically, all red-haired people look the same.
Yeah.
And it would offend him, because he's like, I don't look anything like that. It's just we have the
Yeah.
same hair and complexion. And I think this falls right in that.
Does your dad look like David Caruso?
No. But I'm sure people asked him that. I messed with him a couple of times, and I'm like, Julianne Moore would come on screen and I'd be like, hey, you look exactly like Julianne Moore, just to screw around with him. But I don't think he appreciated it. Oh, by the way, the guy who sent that in, he also sent a note and he said, hey, fellas, first of all, I need an update on the new espresso machine. We just got one a couple of months ago and and it's been a game changer. Haven't been to a coffee shop since. I've got a celebrity surf match for you. Caity and Sissy Spacek, Matt in VTA. So thank you for that, Matt. And we do need to address your coffee issue because Chaz and I have exciting news.
We sure do. Savants.
Sivants has listened, heard our rally cry, heard Chaz's love of Yemeni coffee, and reached out and he's like, dude, I can get some Yemeni beans, roast them for you guys, and do a special grit blend. And it's all in the making right now.
Phenomenal. I mean, I literally got my care package and couldn't have been, I don't know that I've ever been more happy in my life, to be quite frank.
So I got mine 3 days ago. I've been trying it for 3 days. I did the dark roast one day, the medium roast yesterday, and back to the dark roast today. It is very different than any other origin of beans that I've ever had.
Yemeni coffee, how do you like it? Yemeni coffee
I
is
like
phenomenal.
I like it a lot. and
Yeah.
it is distinctly different.
Yeah. It's a good coffee. I still need to grind mine. I'm in New York City here and got to figure out how I can barge a grinding machine to grind them
You
down.
you can just buy like a cheap one on Amazon to get you through till you get home.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do.
I think they're like 10 or 15 bucks for a cheap
Oh,
one.
done. Easy.
It won't be as good, but so we don't have anything to sell yet, or this isn't the sales pitch yet. This is just the teaser because we're in the testing process still. But yeah, I'm very happy and excited to be able to
Stay
share that with
tuned.
people.
Stay tuned.
And also for Matt and VA, the espresso machine that I got and that Chaz already had is the Breville. I got the Bambino Plus. Gotta say, thrilled with it. I can't compare it to anything else, but I am super happy with it.
I mean, super happy, like wildly happy. I have not had my Breville for my New York time. I am back onto a Krups drip machine and vaguely sad every day.
It's easy to use. It's kind of like user friendly, foolproof, and it makes phenomenal quality coffee.
Sure does.
You just need obviously quality product, but we have that. Okay,
Simple.
so I do have pros in the wild. I have some VAER tools to live by. We're going to save it all for next week.
Great. Yeah, I gotta time out here.
In 15 minutes or when?
Yeah, 15.
Okay, cool. So let's go to commercial break and then we will be back with a complaint about us from last week and then barrel or not. All right, Chaz, welcome back to the show.
Cannot hear to or wait to hear the complaint.
It's about us going soft with the no shoe barrel or not from last week.
Come on. Yeah.
Just wait. Just
okay.
listen.
Okay.
All right. What's up, David and Chaz? As a loyal listener and Patreon subscriber, I think it's obvious to state that I value both of your opinions immensely. I check my email every Friday looking for the new gold tablet that God has bestowed upon surf culture from our insightful, comfortably mid surf podcasters. I've been reducing my leash usage when appropriate. I'm now a midnight sits pinkler. My go-to boozy American lunch is a dirty martini followed by a burger. However, from the guys who have encouraged us to eat a little mold, embrace a salty slash pissy smelling slash post-surf crust, and drink our coffee black, I have to say, I'm a bit shocked about your stances on footwear and barefootedness. I am fortunate enough to have grown up in a pleasant Southern California coastal community or suburb with minimal glass and other dangerous objects on the ground to puncture unprotected feet. As such, when I was a kid, I went barefoot every chance I got. I played grab ass with my neighborhood friends, running from backyard to backyard, skating in the alley, jumping over fences into sharp gravel, all without shoes. My feet were cut, scraped, and blackened by the ground, and my parents made me spend a good 30 minutes every night washing my feet before I got in the house. My mom, as a Tolkien enthusiast, calls them my hobbit feet, and I earned these calluses. After 30 years of embracing my barefootedness in an urban environment, I have developed some mighty calluses on my feet that allow me to endure the hottest of sand, sharpest of reef, and also save me money in surf wax. Sand rubbed wax plus calluses equals the stickiest of bumps. I never need reef booties when surfing tropical locations, and I'm usually the first one out because I don't have to pussyfoot across the bottom. To be clear, I'm not a total barbarian and understand that going shoeless in certain spaces is disgusting. For instance, the main reason I signed up for TSA PreCheck is so that I can wear flip-flops through the security line, as I have once made the shameful error of wearing flip-flops through TSA and had to walk barefoot through the scanner. Yuck. I love a loafer, and it is my go-to dress shoe. It is sleek, elegant, and is essentially one piece of fabric removed from my flip-flop. However, my feet get incredibly hot and uncomfortable when covered by a shoe. I have to let those puppies breathe. I agree that there are times when no shoes or no barrel, but wearing shoes in your house? Come on, guys. I know you're dads, but that's some old man energy. My advice is don't wear shoes within a half mile of your house or from where you are surfing, climate permitting. Walk across the hot sand shoeless, hit down or hike down the dirt trail shoeless, find some gravel and do some squat jumps shoeless, do your yard work shoeless, walk around the block shoeless, burn those feet up, cut them up, get some infections, build some calluses. You'll live a better, middle, and grounded life. Work, Shoeless James from ST.
Shoeless James, I completely agree with the initial premise here in terms of daughter didn't wear shoes until she's probably 5, really, to be quite frank. I mean, she would, at the appropriate times, but like she would go to school shoeless. She went to a hippie preschool kind of thing and all of that, where building up that like foot muscle and all that as a kid, 1,000%. And I also totally agree with you that if you focus on, you got to have some calluses and all that on your feet. Like, don't be a baby. I think we went too far in saying you got to wear shoes in the house, but that doesn't. And I'm just going to close your circle. What was his radius?
Half mile.
Half mile. I'm going to close that radius to 1 block or less around your house. Do the work there. When you go to the beach, walk shoeless, from the wherever you park to surf and back and all that. Don't be a baby like that. I fully agree with you. We went too far there, but that radius is small. And also the people who say I'm uncomfortable as adults, my feet need to breathe. Nope. You got to man up and put those loafers on and just accept the discomfort of being an adult.
James won me over. I've seen the error of my ways. I used to go shoeless probably up until 25. I've fully embraced everything that he's talking about, and I've gone soft. And even when I'm walking around the house, I get an owie on my foot, just from like stepping on a toy or stepping on something uneven, and it kind of flexes in a weird way. And I'm like, so then I started wearing shoes in the house or wearing sandals in the house. And now it's only gotten worse. My feet are more tender, they're more sensitive. So I was making the wrong decisions and I've suffered the consequence.
James's correction is right, but I'm going to shrink. There's 2 areas of editing. I'm going to shrink the half mile down to a block around your house. I'm going to extend that to the beach or places where you should be barefoot naturally. But then I'm going to shame James for not being man enough to take the pain of shoes where that pain is necessary.
My feet are hot.
Yeah, my feet are hot. Ow. Yeah. You're like sitting in your stroller at that point, James.
All right. Thank you, James. Shoeless James. Surfing core score. Let's take a tally. Last week we came in at 54. We finished the week at 54. So that's where we're starting this week. But J-Bay went full tilt.
Is that full tilt?
I think so. Well, just because they were goofy footers, it's not?
A, B, it wasn't like classic J-Bay.
It was classic. Finals day was classic J-Bay.
Was it though? It was okay.
Submit a score.
+1.
+1, thanks to J-Bay highlights. We didn't discuss this, but Cloud9, the Surf Spot Cloud line, outlaws beginner surf camps this week.
So is this just somebody saying it, or did they actually do that?
No, whatever the authority is, governing body, government, I don't know who, outlawed surf camps at Cloud9.
+3.
+3. I said surf camps. It's actually beginner surf lessons. So man, look at us. Up 4 so far. Artificial reefs become a reality.
+2. Already claimed it.
+2. Okay. Any other news stories we need to add to this? I feel like we should quit while we're ahead.
I'm trying to think of it. Was there a downer for surf?
No new wave pools opened that I can think of.
No, it's it's laser tag and surf, which I guess that is a net even.
It's hard for me to assign a score to that.
Laser tag is pretty cool.
And WSL made a good choice. We're going to leave that off the tally, I think.
So we're up.
Yeah, I think we're up. Let's go. So that's a grand total of up 6. So we're going from 54 to 60 this week. Holy cow. We're going to have to quit podcasting pretty soon.
Shoot, I feel this coming week is going to have a lot of problems. It's going to have a lot of trouble in surf.
You can't go 2 straight weeks of positive without having some repercussions.
Nope.
There's going to be a kook that paddles out and ends up hurting somebody, maiming somebody.
Yep. And or a kook who paddles out and gets like a giant barrel accidentally.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Moving on. Barrel or not, playing coy on a Jumbotron.
Oh, it was honestly the funniest story ever. It's one of those stories. For those who don't know, there's a CEO of a company called Astronomer. They kept calling him Astronomer, and I was like, wait, how's this astronomer doing this? He's not an astronomer. He was the CEO of a company called Astronomer, who was with his head of PR,
Head of
uh,
HR.
of HR, sorry, having an affair at a Coldplay concert. Every bit of this was so funny. The fact that they were at a Coldplay concert is funny. The fact they got put on the kiss cam hugging, and then like he dodged down, she spun around. Chris Martin of Coldplay said they're either having an affair or really shy. Turns out they're having an affair, blew up everywhere. And it was like the story that in the wake of Epstein files and ICE raids and all war, and it's like the story that everyone needed. It was the feel good story of mocking somebody else for being dumb with their affair.
This happened less than 48 hours ago, and it
Everywhere.
dominated.
It's
Yesterday,
everywhere.
and first of all, like the footage itself is gold. The
Yeah.
memes that came out of it are platinum. Like
Yeah.
I was laughing throughout the entire day through this morning. This morning I saw a version of it where the headline read, um, generous man uh takes a break from tying his shoe to console crying woman, and they ran the footage in reverse. So he's coming up from tying a shoe and then he wraps his arm around a crying woman.
That is
Yeah.
so good. It is
So
all
funny.
so good. I mean, they at this point, obviously their marriages, but I think both of them are married. Their marriages are destroyed, or they're gonna have to do a bunch of therapy and
Who
all that.
knows? Yeah.
Yeah, but they should just come out now and take a bow and say, look, in the middle of a lot of troubling news and people feeling stressed and all of this, we made you all smile. You're welcome. Now we're going to go on and have to fix our lives, but for all of you, you're welcome.
I saw another one that was Nathan Fielder, who we love.
Yeah.
And he's presenting an idea, and it's like, okay, we stage a fake affair on the Jumbotron to drive people's attention to a company that nobody's ever heard of. And the next slide was internet results searches for astronomer yesterday, which were like at an all-time high times 100.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. I mean, it's epic. The whole thing is so epic. I can't say enough about how funny it was. And also, I mean, at this point, they're just who knows what personal damage control they're in. But you got to think initially, because if they wouldn't have reacted,
You're right.
nothing would have ever come from this. If
Yeah.
they would have just stayed loving on screen, then the chances that anyone would have posted it. How many people are posting the kiss cam from a Coldplay concert on Instagram?
Nobody.
Even if 1,000 Coldplay fans did that, either one of their spouses finding that would have been, very unlikely. So if they would have just stayed happily swaying in each other's arms to Coldplay, would have been got off scot-free. But better for them. They're both now made everybody happy.
It was hilarious. Amazing
so
stuff.
Funny.
Barrel or Nah. This is coming off of Matt McGillivray's entrance into J-Bay skydiving.
I'm going to say no barrel. I get it. I would happily do it. It's not that I'm scared of heights or jumping out of a plane or anything. I'm sure it's really fun, but it's one of those things that is so shrouded in nerdiness. People who skydive or who into it are straight up nerds, and they're not cool, right? It's like scuba diving. It's one of those things. I scuba dive. I love to scuba dive. I think I haven't been for a while, but got my the certification above just normal certification. It's something that I wanted to feel so James Bondy. James Bond skydives, James Bond scuba dives. People who skydive and scuba dive are straight up nerds, and there's no other way around it. It's a nerdy pursuit.
I think for all of our military and all that, like there is a need to skydive,
Sure.
like
we're talking about recreational.
Right. So there's
in both scuba
purposes,
and sky.
Totally. There's practical purposes for it, but the idea of just doing it recreationally to me has never had any appeal at all. And again, I'm not like afraid of it.
No, if you and I got invited to go skydive,
I don't even think I'd go. I mean, it's like if I got invited to go I don't know what. I guess paintball from an
I would-
earlier conversation.
I would go both paintball and scuba and skydive if it was, but I would never go out of my way, nor would I make that this is my hobby. I've logged 1,000 hours and 500 jumps. Like those kinds of people who
Yeah.
are into it. To what end? Who cares?
I feel zero inclination to do it. And yeah, I'd say leave it to the professionals who need it for practicality.
Except for if any listener has a skydiving company, I would love to go.
There you go. I'm going no barrel. Sounds like Chaz is going barrel, despite all the words that came out of his mouth. Final barrel or not, also listener submitted, wearing a Rolex while surfing. Quote, I was surfing with Damien or maybe CJ on a hurricane swell in the Outer Banks. He was wearing a Rolex Submariner riding a Salomon Escort. As a Rolex owner, I want to get the nod of approval on this one, end quote.
Absolutely. Okay, so first, if anyone has a call in with barrel or nah, I saw CJ or Damien do it. It's an automatic barrel. It's like a barrel out of the gate. It doesn't matter what they're doing. If it was, I saw CJ eating tacos with his bare feet, then it's a barrel. If it's, I saw,
Pretty impressive.
yeah. If it's, I saw Damien dressed in a skirt, twirling in the park. It's a barrel.
Returning his shopping cart to the
Yeah,
corral.
it's a barrel. No matter what the hobgods do, it's a barrel. Surfing with your Rolex is an absolute barrel. It means, yeah, you got a Rolex. It doesn't mean that much to you.
True. Yeah. It's kind of, yeah. It was
It's not
made,
like he's out there flexing.
well, it's also was made for
It's a
the
submariner.
ocean. It's a submariner. It's made for the ocean for diving.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's using it in the ocean.
Yeah. Which
Absolute
by the way, always makes me laugh when you look at the rating of how far down it can go.
Oh,
And it's
man.
like to the bottom of the Marianas Trench, basically. It's like
Who's going down
600
there?
meters or 200 meters. You're like, nobody's ever going, unless you dropped your watch off of a cruise ship, it would never go that far down. That's the only scenario. You'd never be with it.
The only way that surfing with a Rolex is a no barrel, or surfing with any high-end watch is a no barrel, is if you're doing it as a flex. If you're like in the lineup, what time is it, everybody? And like, which clearly Siege or Damien or whoever was doing this was not flexing. They were just wearing their watch in the lineup, and their watch happened to be a Rolex.
Well, the other thing is those watches weren't made to be dress watches or fancy watches when they were made. They were made to be the ultimate
Tough guy
performance.
watches.
Yes. Or the ultimate tool watch, the ultimate thing to go conquer something with it'll survive all the elements. And so you're putting it through the paces in that environment, which is what it was built for.
The only thing cooler for CJ would have been to be wearing a VAER watch from vaerwatches.com/surf.
Surf Splendor. I think that he is probably now, if I would venture a guess.
Yeah, good for you, Siege.
So
Way to
good
upgrade.
for you. Way to upgrade, CJ. All right. Thank you, everybody. Go catch us on Patreon on Monday, and also importantly on Noble Rot. I mean, with the Epstein list and with the Kiss Cam thing, Noble Rot's going to be a banger on Monday.
It's going to be a banger. Just you wait, people.
Trump covering his hands with makeup.
It's all
deep vein thrombosis.
We got the best show yet coming up on Noble Rot.
All right. We'll see you guys there on Monday and over on Patreon. Until next week.
Keep work.
All right. Thanks.